Hey, l'chaim to everyone. A guten Erev Shabbos. Baruch atah Hashem B'dvarim. So I wanted to talk to you a few words on this Erev Shabbos of Parshat Zachor. Tomorrow is called Parshat Zachor when we read in Shul the story of Amalek and how they tried to destroy the Jewish people. And that in every generation we need to remember and never forget that hate, that anti-Semitism, that has no rhyme or reason. You know, 1911, I'm sure you guys all know the story, but it connects to this week's Parsha and to what's going on today. 1911, Kyiv Ukraine. There was an 11-year-old kid who worked in a factory and was found killed. An 11-year-old kid who was missing from his home and he was found killed near a factory. And a lovely Jew, Mendel Beilis, the father of a family, a husband, a father, was accused of killing this guy. And it happened around this time of the year. And in typical blood libel story, where so much accusations that are so ludicrous and hateful and unreal were accused against the Jews, the Ukrainians decided that the Jewish people killed this young guy because they wanted to use his blood in the matzah. Now, if you know anything about Judaism, we check our eggs. In our home, we use so many eggs, but we don't eat an egg unless we crack it and make sure there's no blood in it. Well, they accused the Jewish people of killing this 11-year-old child because they wanted his blood for the matzah, and they couldn't eat the matzah without his blood. And it was a terrible trial. It took 2 years till the trial began. And in 1913, the trial began. And instead of putting Mendel Beilis on trial for killing someone, the entire Jewish people were put on trial in this court case in Ukraine, which ironically that was Russia, by the way. It was considered Russia. And basically, they checked through all the Talmud and to find proof that Jews don't regard other human beings. And the trial began. And the prosecutor said like this. He said, I saw there's a quote in the Talmud that says, Atem kriyim Adam, you the Jewish people are called Adam, man. But the world, the rest of the world is not called Adam. And the prosecutor said, look, your own Torah says, your own Talmud says that the Jewish people are the only human people and we're not human, so you could kill us. Imagine. And the great famous Rabbi of Lublin came for the defense. All the rabbis from all over Europe were standing up for this trial, which was accusing the Jewish people of the worst things. And he said, let me explain you why and what the Talmud means. You see, in the beginning of this week's Torah portion, Vayikra, God says, Adam ki yakar mikem, Karban Hashem, a person from you who brings a sacrifice to God. And he uses the term Adam. But you know what the sage of Lublin said? He said something powerful. He said, you know, every word in Hebrew has a singular and a plural. Take the word ish means man, anashim means men, tapuach means apple, tapuchim means many apples. He looks at the court and he says, what's the plural for Adam? Adam means man. What's the plural for men? You know what the answer is, he said? The only word we find, there's no plural. Adam is the same for one and the same for many. And he said in his wisdom, he said, that's why the Talmud says, Atem kruyim Adam. Only the Jewish people are called one. Only in the history of the world will one man be accused of something and the whole Jewish people will be put on trial. It's not about him, it's about all of us. Atem kruyim Adam. The Torah is telling us that we are one unit, one organism, the Jewish people. Organism. We are called and we are accused of things. And we are all put on trial. You know, Rabbi Norman Lav, who was the president of Yeshiva University, once said a beautiful story. He said when the story with Entebbe happened, he said he was on a cruise. And there was some waiter there, a simple Israeli waiter. His name was Yehuda, I think. And when people heard about the raid of Entebbe and how Israel saved the people, they all grabbed this guy and they put him on his shoulders and they started dancing and singing. And Norman says, I was wondering to myself, This kid, he's a waiter. He knows nothing about what Israel did. He's not in the Israeli army. He's not an officer. He's not an intelligent officer. Why are they raising him on the shoulders? And he said the answer was simple. Adam. The singular and the plural when it comes to the Jewish people is one. Here you have the story, the horrific story of Mendel Beilis, where one man was accused of murder, which, by the way, he didn't do. And in 1913, the judge acquitted him. And at the same point, you see when one person is being hoisted on his shoulders when he did nothing because he's part of the Jewish people. I think about this as we see the power of what's been happening over the past 2 weeks and the unity of the Jewish people uniting to help unconditionally, to save, to bring, to nurture so many Jews and non-Jews. It shows us the connection. We could be sitting in Boston and we're ready to help someone across the world that we never met, that we never heard of, or we never thought of, because he's our brother, because she's our sister. May Hashem give us that we should eradicate hate, anti-Semitism. We should bring peace, tranquility to all, safety. But we should never forget that message from the Beilis trials. Atam kruyim Adam. You're called Adam, man, in the singular and the plural the same, because the Jewish people are one organism. God bless you. May we always remember the dangers of anti-Semitism as we do tomorrow on Shul. May we celebrate the beauty of Shabbos as we will be doing here with so many friends and family. And may we feel the unity ever present in the Jewish people. Am Yisrael Chai, Shabbat Shalom.